Welcome back. My name is Simon Jönsson. I'm an analyst covering tech and gaming here at ABG. Next up on today's agenda, we have the CEO and founder of Awardit, Niklas Lundqvist. Niklas will hold a presentation of the company, and after which I will host a short Q&A. With that said, I leave the floor to you, Niklas.
Thanks, Simon. Great to be here. I'm walking from my office at the Snickarbacken here in central Stockholm to Regeringsgatan. I passed companies like Bastard Burgers, McDonald's, Naturkompaniet, 7-Eleven, Stadium, Elgiganten, Elon, Holy Greens down on the street here just outside your office. And they all have in common that we somehow work with each and every one of them. And through all the programs that we operate on behalf of our customers, we touch the lives of a lot of people in the Nordics. And we can reach those people in a networking-based and very effective way. And what we now want to do is to expand that reach. And we'll do so by continuous organic growth. We're growing very quickly right now. And through more acquisitions. Last week we closed the acquisition of Prämie Direkt, which is one of the leading loyalty businesses on the German market. We also closed a directed share issue of 192 million Swedish krona. And it was heavily oversubscribed and at a low discount. This financing gives us the muscles to buy companies, I would say, for between 500 and 600 million krona, a little bit depending on the financing mix. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the CEO and founder of Awardit. I've been running this business now for more than 20 years, and we've been a public company since 4 years back, December 2017. We took it public with the sole intention of realizing an acquisition strategy. And we are today the largest platform and company for loyalty programs, motivational programs, and gift card programs in the Nordic. Looking at our revenue, rolling 12 months ahead on a pro forma basis without organic growth, I would say we're around 800 million in turnover, and 1 billion is within reach for 2022, given that we can continue having the organic growth that we have right now. We provide a software as a service-based toolbox for setting up and running these types of programs for our customer. We help out with the strategy. We set the programs up on basis of our technology, and we operate them. We also provide, most importantly, we provide content for the loyalty programs. We provide marketplaces for spending and redeeming loyalty points. We provide closed deal shops for companies like Benify. We provide partnership networks, allowing people to earn points and cash back from not just the program owner, but from hundreds of different companies. And our business is right now, like I said, growing very well organically. And our ambition in the medium term, we say 3, 4, 5 years from now, we want to become one of the leaders on the European market. And we'll do so by continued acquisitions and organic growth. Today we have completed 10 acquisitions, of which 3 have been completed this year. I believe in total we've acquired a turnover this year of approximately 450 million krona. In turnover, that is. Here are some of the companies that we've acquired. I'm not going to spend much time talking about that, but we look for businesses that brings on more volume and more body for us. Historically, we've also acquired companies that complement us from a technical perspective, but today we believe that we're more or less fully covered from a tech perspective. So when we did the acquisition of Prämie Direkt in Germany, it was a matter of gaining a bridgehold on the German market and continue building from there on. So why do our customers buy our services and products? Well, they obviously want to achieve a greater share of their customers' wallet. They want them to come to them more often, to spend more money every time, and to communicate with them more effectively. And obviously also to reduce churn and be able to attract more new customers in a cost-effective manner. So I usually say that if you invest 1 krona in a loyalty program, gift card program, motivational program, your return on that investment will be a lot higher than if you invested in traditional mass marketing. When we run motivational programs, we aim to stimulate personnel working at a large company or a reseller network by rewarding results, activity, competency, and engagement. So it's not only a matter of rewarding transactional behavior. Looking at the markets that we are exposed to on a global scale, they are growing very well. They're extremely large, and we expect to grow faster than those markets. Some words about our business model. It depends a little bit on what type of product service we're selling. If you look at the loyalty segment of our business, we charge setup fees for configuring our platform under the graphic profile and the trademark of our customer. We charge a monthly fee for access to the platform on a software as a service basis. Then we also do make money on providing the content and the marketplace for redeeming loyalty points or buying stuff in a closed deal shop. So when a person redeems their points for a digital gift card or a pair of headphones, we'll have a business model on that transaction. When it comes to gift cards, it's a similar model. And in the gift card segment, we provide the most widely used platform on the Nordic market today for issuing and redeeming gift cards. And it's called mValue, and it's run in our subsidiary Retain24. But we also charge setup fees, we charge monthly fees, and we charge, in addition to that, we charge loading fees. So we charge a sort of transactional fee for each card, physical or digital, that is issued on the platform. We charge either a fixed fee or a variable fee in the form of a percentage of the transaction sum being loaded on top of the card. We also do business in the gift card segment through providing distribution services for gift cards. Third-party distribution networks. We distribute, obviously, gift cards through the different types of loyalty programs and motivational programs that we operate. And on such transactions, we either have a margin or we earn a commission. So if you go into a 7-Eleven store, a Coop store, a Circle K store on the market, you will see these gift card stands, and all those transactions are being run on top of our platforms. Or if you redeem your SAS Euro bonus points for a gift card, it's a transaction that's being conducted by us. We also do run some private label gift card programs. And private label means that we set up the gift card concept and we own it, so to speak. The most successful one being Supergift with a Z, supergift.com. It's a multi-gift card concept that we launched in the middle of COVID. In order to launch that, we didn't have to invest any money in tech because we control the platform. It's our platform, it's our proprietary technology. We didn't need to invest in employing any more people. And we didn't need to invest in marketing since we could reach the market through our various loyalty programs and through our distribution networks. And we went from zero in the middle of 2020 to at the end of October this year, we had sold Supergift for 102 million Swedish krona. And when running a private label program like that, we not only have a small gross margin, but we also earn a margin from so-called breakage. And breakage means that the values that are not redeemed within, say, 12 months expiration period becomes profit for us. And when it comes to partnerships, we have agreements in place with hundreds of different businesses online and offline. And we track transactions being carried out by members in different programs that we operate at those partners' places of business. And for each such transaction, we earn a commission, and we take most of that commission and finance the points. So you can be a member of a program that we operate, and you can earn points from hundreds of different stores online and offline. And we clear all those transactions and make a profit from each transaction. Looking at our figures, historical figures, we grew exclusively organic up until 2017, and from there on, it was organic growth coupled with acquisitions. During last year, we had a small dip in our turnover due to COVID. We lost around 8-9% on our top line and about 2% on our EBITA. So it wasn't that bad, but on the other hand, if you would have asked me at the end of 2019 what my forecast was for 2020, I probably wouldn't have answered, but my internal goal in the company was an organic growth of 20 to 25%. So we had an indirect hit of around 50 million krona for 2020 and 7 million on our profit. But we are back in organic growth this year. So in the third quarter this year, we saw a growth rate of 110% with revenue accelerating from 62 to 130 million. 24% of that was organic growth. And actually, if you adjust the organic growth rate for revenue of non-recurring type in the third quarter of 2020, it would have been around 60% organic growth. Our EBITA increased with 96%, out of which 74% was organic. And we've seen improving gross margins. We've seen a neutral EBITA margin, but adjusted for breakage and adjusted for some other stuff of the non-recurring type, that growth would have been, the EBITA margin would have been around 17%, not 12%. We expect both margins to continuously increase slowly over time. Like I said before, we closed the acquisition of Prämie Direkt recently, just last week. That adds another 200 million in rolling 12 months turnover. And our super gift concept continues to develop very well, and we'll be seeing, we saw a small amount of so-called breakage in the third quarter, about 0.4 million. Given the same rate as in the third quarter, during the fourth quarter, we'll be expecting around 2.6 million in extra profit from breakage during the fourth quarter. So you can see, you can look at breakage as being a hidden profitability in our books. We expect that growth will continue to pick up. Some of our businesses, like MBXP, which is a Danish group, have seen they're being slower to pick up after COVID, but it's looking good now. It was looking good at the end of October. So provided that the society is not closing down completely, we expect to see a continued growth here. And like I said, the gross margin, we can expect that to rise over time. And the same applies for the EBITA margin. And also breakage will continuously surface in our books due to Supergift. Short brief on Prämie Direkt, which we closed last week. It's one of the leading loyalty companies on the German market. It's been active for more than 50 years. It's specialized on the fulfillment side of loyalty programs. And when I say fulfillment, it's enabling loyalty points to be spent or to provide rewards in different types of businesses. The revenue in 2020 was around 18.7 million euros and an EBITDA of approximately 1.2. This year they expect 1.7 around approximately for the full year. And we took control of the company as of the 1st of December. So since the 1st of December, it will be in our books. It's debt-free, 35 full-time employees. We paid 17.5 million euros for this business, and 14.5 million was paid in cash, out of which 7 was financed through a bank loan and the rest from our own cash. 1.5 million was paid as a promissory note to the seller and 1.5 million in Awardit shares. And I can say that it's the typical setup. We usually try to gain loan financing on each acquisition, and depending on who the seller is, it can be more or less Awardit share. It depends on, but the Awardit share is the most valuable asset that we have. And we make that clear to the sellers that it's extremely valuable to receive payment in our shares. So right now we are very well positioned for further organic growth and for acquisition-driven growth. We've closed the financing round of 192 million, and that gives us, from our perspective, quite a lot of buying power. I believe we can buy companies for 500 to 600 million Swedish krona. And obviously, I mean, we have a good pipe of potential objects, but you never know when we are able to close them. But we expect to keep up the pace. We've closed 3 transactions this year. I don't think we'll be closing any other transactions before New Year, but obviously 2022 is quite close now. So the vision going forward is obviously that we'll be one of the European leaders in this industry within 3 to 5 years if we keep it up. And the market is, from an acquisition perspective, it's very fragmented, which is obviously perfect from our strategy. We are not really running into any great competition so far, so that's a good thing. All right, I think I'm done with the presentation itself. If you have any questions.
Yeah, let's turn to some questions. To start off, you said that you expect to grow faster than the underlying market here. What is the reason that you expect that?
Well, I mean, historically, we've always grown faster than the market, so I see no reason why we shouldn't be able to do so in the future. And obviously, each acquisition we do, we add sort of a network effect. That means that we can push our private label programs to a greater audience and so on. So that, if you keep the snowball rolling from that perspective, it's really that can be very beneficial for us.
Thank you. And now as the deal with Premier has closed, and I expect that you have some more visibility into that business. What are your key takeaways so far?
Well, originally when we started looking at Premier, we've known them for some years. We've been cooperating in some cases, so it's not a completely new company for us. But what we found out, they were more specialized on the fulfillment side of loyalty programs. They're not really doing the complete solutions, which we can do in-house. But I see that as a potential upside, since we can provide them with tech and platforms to actually be able to provide and operate complete loyalty programs, so they don't have to do that together with CMI competitors anymore.
And when do you think you can start to see some of those synergies?
Oof, that's too early to tell. I mean, we closed it last week, so now it's a lot of work with the purchase price allocations and stuff like that, and you know, the closing balance. And but we'll definitely get into the business side, you know, in the next few weeks. But the tech, obviously, it takes time. But I mean, within a year or so, I hope that we can see some fruit from this.
Okay, thank you. And turning to M&A, you have a very clear M&A agenda.
Yes.
It's Europe now, and you want to become a leader in Europe, obviously. Could you please elaborate on what markets, maybe outside of Germany, that excites you and why that is?
Well, obviously, I mean, we have done in the Nordics itself. I mean, we're the largest company in our industry here right now, but with outside of Sweden, we've only done one acquisition so far, and that's the Danish MBXB. And I believe there will be some opportunities in the neighboring countries, Norway, Finland, and so on. And obviously, looking in the sort of German DACH region, Austria, Switzerland, there are companies that could be of interest for us. And obviously then moving south, we get some, sometimes we get some exotic opportunities that come to us without looking at them. I mean, we've had Middle East, we've looked at Middle East companies, Turkish companies,
All over the place.
But the main focus is it's up here in Northern Europe right now, so...
But could you see like some markets being more consolidated or fragmented?
I think I believe. I mean, the British market, it's further ahead than the Nordic market on a European basis. I mean, looking at North America, they're even more further ahead when it comes to the penetration of these types of programs.
And could you see some of those players, let's say UK or US players, coming in and competing with you in maybe Germany or Nordics?
I mean, in some parts of our business, like the gift card business and gift card distribution, we are competing with large US companies like Blackhawk Networks. And actually, I mean, we've taken a lot of their customers in the Nordics.
That's interesting. And the 1 billion sales that you think could be reasonable for next year. And what would you say would be the main drivers of that? Is it the performance of the underlying Awardit or contribution from
like I said in the beginning? I mean, first of all, reaching 1 billion krona in turnover, it's like a milestone for us. So it's it's something we want to do. But like I said in the beginning, if you add up all our latest acquisition, you're looking at a rolling 12 months ahead pro forma. Without organic growth, it should be around 800 million. And if we keep up the current organic growth pace that we saw in the third quarter, I mean, that was around 24% at least, then it should be attainable. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen by itself. I mean, but it's out there, and I think we can do it.
That's fair. But I think you could argue that you had some easier comps this year to grow organically. But do you still think that you could grow at the same rate?
Well, actually, going into the fourth quarter in October, we had an organic growth rate of more than 100%. So I guess that would be difficult to keep up for any length of time. But definitely, I mean, it's possible for us to keep the growth rate we saw in the third quarter on an average. That's not impossible.
Okay. And a last quick question here about the resurge of COVID. Should we be worried about potential problems in the gift card business, especially
when we were hit by, or when Swedish society everywhere was hit by COVID last year, what we saw was that we kept growing in business-to-business loyalty programs. We kept growing in gift card programs, but we lost revenue when it came to B2C programs, and those being, because we're heavy into the travel industry with customers like SAS, hotels, Scandic, and movie tickets. All those businesses were essentially completely closed down. So as long as we're not seeing a total close down of travel and entertainment and so on, I don't see any big risks there. But
Okay.
I don't think it's going to close down like before, simply.
Okay. I think that's all we had time for, I'm afraid. But thank you, Niklas.
Thank you.
Thank you, the audience, for tuning in.
Great. Thanks.